a trade association such as this one. But before I really go into those affiliate organizations that I'm talking about here, let me break it down for you, tell you a little bit about our organization, NAREB and YRD. So NAREB is an acronym for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, the oldest and largest African-American real estate trade association in the country, comprised of over 90 local chapters across 35 states. NAREB is the premier network of black real estate professionals nationwide. Black real estate professionals and those professionals that are passionate about building black wealth. The Young Realtors Division of NAREB was founded in 1996 with the mission of redefining the real estate culture for tomorrow's leaders by empowering the youth and communities through wealth building, career exposure, mentorship, professional development, and leadership training. We are led by our president, Madam Tamisha Wells. Shout out to her. She is doing some heavy lifting here, really pushing YRD past the past. We're in the present and into the future, so shout out to her and all the work that she's putting in for us to create a whole new generation of leaders within NAREB. So with YRDtv, we are excited to have the opportunity to provide unique programming that will highlight and celebrate relevant information, policies, and real-life stories surrounding black real estate in the United States. This is a movement, my people. It's a movement, and it will take each and every one of us to move the needle. If you are in the building, like I said, like, share, comment, hit the little bell button, subscribe, tag your favorite realtists. Let us know what chapters you represent. I see my brother Washington Muhammad is in the building. Peace to you, my brother. And we got an unknown, I don't know who this is, unknown user, and you might be private, but you never heard of us. And that's what I don't like. Realtists, members of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, are realtists. And we are realtists because for most of us, including myself, as black men, we couldn't be realtors into the early 70s because the realtors used to be a good old boys network, meaning you had to be sponsored by a realtor in order to get into the realtors. And back then, realtors were very instrumental in adding to the discrimination that was going on. So we always had our own organization since 1947. And we have opened doors for black people since our existence, you know, helping to write the Voting Act of 1965, the Fair Housing Act of 1968. We helped create the Community Reinvestment Act. We helped create Form HUD, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, and onward and on forth. And to this day, we are instrumental in pushing for those special purpose credit programs that you're seeing right now out there talking about, you know, loans for black people. You know, realtors are behind this and we're pushing it forward. But we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm going to bring in an expert to talk about those SPCPs, but not today. Not today, but today what I really want to do is get you all acclimated to who is, we talked about NAREB, we talked about our leadership, we talked about our 5 pillars and what we are doing standing on those 5 pillars to build black wealth in America. But let's also give some attention and some time to our affiliate organizations because you have NAREB, the national, but you have 10 different affiliate organizations which stand on their own as organizations, but exist because of NAREB and work with NAREB to help NAREB achieve its ultimate goals, which is democracy and housing and advancing that. So with that being said, YRD is one of the affiliates. And the purpose of YRD, like I said, is to redefine the real estate culture for tomorrow's leaders by empowering the youth in our communities through wealth building, career exposure, mentorship, professional development, and leadership training. YRD is the yard, the stomping grounds of young leaders within this organization. YRD is the affiliate within NAREB that's taken members who have joined within the last 5 years and getting them plugged into NAREB, letting them to understand the opportunities within NAREB, how they can grow their gifts, how they can grow their businesses by serving their community through our mission of creating and fighting for and advancing democracy and housing. So, you know, for all my people that are fresh to the organization, YRD is where you want to be. It's simple as that. You know, hey, YRD is where you want to be. You heard it here first, because through YRD, like I said, we are getting plugged in. You know, NAREB, we come to serve and we are servant leaders. So service comes first. But through our service, we are able to build relationships. We are able to learn. We are able to get in the rooms. And something that a lot of realtors will tell you, NAREB will get you into rooms that will be very, very hard to get into yourself. And so, like I said, we lead with service, but through YRD, we are given the space and we are given the autonomy to grow as leaders, to understand this parliamentary procedure that we run our meetings by, Robert's Rule of Order, to understand the history, to learn the history and be connected to the historians and the mentors within the organization, to get plugged in. You know, this is, like I said, it's a stomping ground. And I'm grateful for YRD and, you know, all that has come from my involvement in YRD and all that will come moving forward, and also the leaders that I look forward to touching, you know, as time goes on. So, you know, YRD, that's YRD. So I'm going to take us over here, and we can talk a little bit more about our other affiliates. Commercial real estate, because if you do anything in real estate, you already know that commercial real estate is not very diverse at all. It's a lot of white men. Hold up. It's a lot of white men. I was muted. My bad. Let me take it back. I appreciate, that's why I need y'all in the comments letting me know what's up. Let me run that back one time. So like I was saying, this is our handsome chairman of the board, national, Mr. Derek Luckett. And the Commercial Industrial Division is the affiliate within NAREB that teaches the craft of commercial real estate. And so if you know anything, you practice real estate, you already know that commercial real estate is not diverse at all. It's a lot of white men. And so we need more people of color within commercial real estate, because as we build black wealth, there's going to be more of us that want to take it to another level and acquire commercial property. And, you know, we want to be represented by us. And so it's important that we continue to elevate in that regard when it comes to real estate. So the Commercial Industrial Division hosts classes at the National Convention, at the Midwinter Convention. They help people who are interested in commercial real estate tap into mentors, tap into potential partners who can help negotiate these deals out here in the streets. And so, you know, I've been to a few classes myself where I feel confident enough to put together some commercial deals, even though there's nobody in my region that's going to teach me that. But I can go somewhere like NAREB and be tapped into the Commercial Industrial Division and be able to partake in that type of education. Right, so that's what that's about. We'll move on to the Home Buyers Counseling Affiliate, which is headed by President Rolanda Wilson. This is the affiliate that is teaching realtors how to overcome the largest impediments to black home ownership. Okay, they're teaching how to overcome credit issues, how to overcome debt issues. They're teaching realtors where to find the resources so that they can help their clients overcome the issues such as lack of funds and down payment in order to bridge that gap for home ownership. So shout out to her. She had a bomb class. She actually invited me to speak about the millennials at the home buyer counseling session that we had at our national convention this year. And I'm actually looking forward to her and, partnering with her along with the millennial committee to help bridge the gap of black home ownership within the millennial demographic. Stephanie Burton, yeah, get tapped in. Hit that button in the link in the bio. You can join YRD, link in the bio. Come on with it. Get with it and with it. Get with it, because you don't want to get left. You don't want to get left. We don't want to get left. So let's move on to one of my favorite affiliates, one that I'm very passionate about. I spent a lot of time doing. In fact, I just was granted a branch of NAREB's investment division, NID. So I'm an NID housing counselor. I've been a housing counselor for the past 2 years, since August of 2020. Just this month, September 2022, I've been granted my certification to be a branch manager of NAREB's investment division here in Lucas County. So the name of my branch is called NID Lucas County. And what do we do as NID, Housing Counseling Agency? We provide financial education, which helps people acquire property, maintain property, and then exchange property if they want to profitably. We help people make good decisions in regards to real estate, whether they're looking to get themselves in position to purchase, whether they need to get their credit in order, whether they need to get their budget finances in order. We help that. We have programming for that. We have programming for credit, down payment assistance, people who go through our home buyer education program. This is a HUD certified organization, meaning we are a HUD intermediary. NID is the largest national black-owned housing counseling agency in America. It's one of HUD's big 3 housing counseling agencies that they like to give funds to and do business with because they trust our standards. We have a very high standard in NID of taking care of our people and also helping HUD reach its goals. And it's really a blessing. It's really a blessing to be a part of NID, because before I became a housing counselor, I was already counseling people. People would come to my office and talk to me about their goals, and I would break it down. Now, when they come to me and I counsel them as a HUD counselor, I'm able to really tap into the sources that are available, the resources, the education, the knowledge, and help these people really expedite their transition from being a renter to a homeowner. But don't get it twisted. We offer programming for post-purchase, teaching people how to maintain their properties once they purchase it, so their property continues to increase in value and doesn't depreciate because of lack of maintenance. We offer pre-foreclosure. We help people keep their houses. We offer loss mitigation. So if you are going to get foreclosed on, how can we limit how much money you're going to lose by being foreclosed on? So, and then there's some offices within America. We have some offices, some counselors that also offer reverse mortgage counseling, which is very big right now with the way that baby boomers are aging. Okay, so NID is a HUD intermediary. It's an affiliate of NAREB, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be a part of. If you know anybody NID in your local market, talk to them about it and see how you can get involved. That's what I would recommend. All right, let's move on. All right, we move on here. You see Mr. President Robbie Wilson. He is the president of the National Society of Real Estate Appraisers, which is NAREB. The whole goal is to help more of us, more people of color, more black people specifically, get into the appraisal industry, because I'm sure you've all heard the stats that white males make up 98% of appraisers in America. And so when you have 98% of appraisers representing one demographic, but this appraiser represents tens, hundred thousands of dollars in during a one transaction, okay, what happens is you see in issues where implicit bias gets in the way, and studies show that appraisers tend to appraise the homes of black families lower than what they appraise the families of white families. So with that being said, yes, we need more diversity within the appraisal industry, and I know NAREB is working with their partners to provide solutions to open the doors for more of us to get into appraisal. And appraisal is one of those things too. You have to know an appraiser to become an appraiser, and a lot of these appraisal companies are generationally deep, and so it can be hard to go get into. But through NAREB, you know somebody that's an appraiser, and more than likely you know somebody that will allow you to be an apprentice so that you can become your own appraiser. So that's the beauty of NAREB. You get plugged in, y'all. You get plugged in. So let's move on to the next one. And if you watching right now, do me a favor. I appreciate the comments. Comment. Hit that share button. That's the best thing you can do. Hit that share button. Here, I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share it a couple more times since I'm in here right now. since I'm in here right now, I'm gonna go ahead and share it. Share it. Okay, I just shared it. I just shared it again. So what's up? We going back in. Let's go in. Let's talk about the next one. RIMB. We have our Madam President, Joyce Gibson. She's the president of the Real Estate Management Brokers Institute, which teaches on property management, best practices. RIMB is an organization of people who engage in the property management business. And at the National Convention, they provide training on best practices in order to run a more efficient and effective property management system. So the beauty of property management is, you know, a lot of us start off as sales, but the real estate industry is very broad, which is very represented by the different affiliates that we have here. But property management is a way for you to make money in real estate without owning your own real estate. Just kind of like a license. And you need a license to legally do property management, at least in Ohio. But yeah, you help people maintain their properties and they break you off a cut. And so, like I said, you have different property managers from across the country that are sharing this information about how they're building their businesses. And so for someone that wants to get in, where else would you want to be than where the property managers are at, where RIMB is having a meeting at? Why wouldn't you want to be there and soak in all this information, all this game? And that's what it's about here at NAREB. You come to serve, but while you're here, you soak up so much game to help you elevate your life and elevate your business. We'll move on. We have Mr. Chief of Staff himself, Pastor L.J. Jennings. He is the president of NAREB's sales division. Okay, so NAREB's sales division is the affiliate that is focused on helping our members sell more houses. As simple as that. One thing that I've been through the sales division's trainings, and some things that I picked up an REO certification where they taught us how to prepare for the REO market when it comes back, how to position ourselves to work with property managers, to work with these banks, to pick up these listings if, heaven forbid, a foreclosure crisis comes back. Best practices, you know, things that I learned in that days. Again, nobody's going to teach me this stuff, but when I go to a national NAREB event, and you have people sharing this stuff. Like, for instance, I didn't know to do REO, you want to have some type of business credit, because for a lot of property managers, people that list these properties are going to be responsible for clearing them out. That blew my mind, but I never would have known. As much as I said, oh, I want to list foreclosures, maybe I'm not in a position to list foreclosures yet. But, you know, I learned, but learning that also gave me something to aspire to, knowing that in order for me to get here, this is what I have to do. Boom, 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 boom. And so, like I said, these trainings take place at the National Convention, at the Midwinter Convention Conference. It's nothing like it. So let's move on to the next one, the next one. I got my brother right here, Mr. President himself, Kenneth Morrison. He is the president of the United Developers Council. So, like I said, real estate is very broad. Within the real estate industry, you have so many people making money in so many different ways. And if you ask me, the crown of the real estate industry is real estate development. Because without development, none of us will have nothing but straight land. And then we can sell land, but who's going to buy just land? No. Real estate development, right? Development, literally taking an idea and taking some land and bringing your resources together, bringing your knowledge together, bringing finances together to put a building up, that's going to outlast you in your own lifetime. That is a beautiful thing. And UDC is teaching us how to develop at high levels. UDC, I've been to a couple different UDC certification courses because I'm a nerd, right? And I like my education. So I've sat through a couple and I learned so much. And I mean, it's a lot of information. You talk about developing. They've had developers, black developers come that have developed 80, 100, 800 unit buildings, okay? Projects, literal projects. And they break down how they financed it, how they applied for the different tax credits, okay? Come on now, nobody's teaching that stuff, but guess what? UDC is. And if you want to really learn, boom, here's your opportunity. UDC is hosting a certification course in Detroit. That's the information session. This is just the information session. But in October, if you go to GreaterDetroitRealtist.com, October 11th through the 14th, UDC is hosting along with the Greater Detroit Realtors Association, is hosting a 4-day development course, certification course. They're going to break it down. Like I told you, how do you identify a particular project, a good project? Who are all the players in a development? What are the phases of development? How do you work with the municipalities? How do you get the government on your side and working to develop land? You know, you don't know what you don't know. And until I've been through 2 of these, and I'm going to go to this one just because you can never pick it all up in one sitting. And in fact, you won't know until you start doing, but at least your mind is predisposed to what's going to be necessary to be successful. And so go to GreaterDetroitRealtors.com, register now. You don't want to miss it. If you really want to get into development, it's going to be hard to beat this type of education. So be there or be square. All right? Be there or be square. Don't say I didn't tell you. All right, let's move on to our next affiliate. And as you can see, we have Madam President Letitia Grant, who is the president of NAREB's Women's Council. So we love our women here at NAREB. Yes, we are on our 3rd woman president right now with Madam Lydia Pope, and we're gearing up for our 4th woman president, Madam Courtney Johnson Rose. This will be the first time in history, if everything works out, that 2 women will be presidents back to back. And both of these women ascended into leadership through NAREB's Women's Council. So traditionally, NAREB has been a male-dominated organization. But in the times that we are in right now, especially with the work that NAREB's Women's Council have put in over the past few decades, I could say it's pretty equal. Our organization would not be what it is today without women, and we are grateful for our women. And NAREB's Women's Council allows women to develop in leadership, to develop in leadership without having to compete with men to some degrees. NAREB's Women's Council, it focuses on community education. Women's Council holds homebuyer education, financial literacy for the youth in the chapters that they have across the country. So tap in. I'm a member. You don't have to be a woman to be a member of Women's Council. I'm a Women's Council member. I got my Women's Council pin back there somewhere, right? Because I support them and what they're doing. And so, yes, I'm there. I hold it down from my ladies, from my realtist sisters in Women's Council. So let's talk about one more. We got one more. I already told you about the illustrious Madam Tamisha Wells, our president of YRD, straight out of Houston, holding it down, taking it to another level. Shout out to her. And we have one more past president, national president of NAREB's Contractors Division, Mr. Tom Holmes. So our Contractors Division focuses on helping realtors who want to get into the building, who want to have a business that and actually manipulating the properties, right? They teaching laws. They teaching how to get your certifications. They're teaching how to build sustainable contracting businesses because, like I said, there's so many different ways to make money in real estate. As a realtor, yeah, you make money when property changes hands, but aside from that, what happens when an investor buys and they want to manage it? What happens when an investor wants to purchase commercial? It's not just about residential. What happens when you want to develop land? What happens if you want to for the appraisers? Property, man, it's just a lot, but the contractor is another one where you're getting black contractors together and educating them on, how to take things to another level for their contracting business. So with that being said, with our 10 different affiliates, the sky's the limit here at NAREB. No matter what you aspire to do within the real estate industry, there are people here doing it at a very high level. And the beauty of it is I see them, and because it happens to me, they pour into us. So if you haven't been to a NAREB National, come on now. Midwinter is going to be in San Diego, and it's going to be a time. It's going to be amazing. So be there, be square. Every 4th Tuesday, tap in to YRD's General Body Meeting. Hit the link in the bio. I'm looking for guests. I need people that want to come on YRDtv. So if you know somebody that would be a good guest, someone that has something to say, someone you want to highlight, give a platform to, hit the link in the bio. It says become a YRDtv guest. Come on with it. Nominate a pioneer. If someone just inspires you, somebody is a trailblazer in your local market and they're a YRD member, nominate them to be a YRD pioneer. We need more pioneers as well. And we need you. You know, YRD has open committees at the national level, and we're looking for leaders that want to elevate and learn and grow, you know, and network and all of that and then some. So come on with it. This is a movement, like I said. Also, boom, one more time for the one time, Congressional Black Caucus is coming up. So for those that don't know, the Congressional Black Caucus literally is like the national politicians, senators, House of Reps. They get together for about a week, and they have their Congressional Black Caucus, which is a legislative convention, which consists of our Black Congress people. And NAREB hosts events at the Congressional Black Caucus. So it's happening at the end of the month, September 28th. Our first vice president, Ashley Thomas III, he's the chair of our political advocacy pillar. They will be hosting a session talking about these special purpose credit programs. Special purpose credit programs are programs that lenders can create specifically for Black homeowners to bridge the gap, because you know that home ownership rate is the gap is too big. So they'll be discussing it in depth. Right now, it is just sweeping through the news, all these programs for Black people that are popping up. Some people say it's controversial, but it's not, because you have had organizations like the CDFI come out and say that it's not a violation of fair housing to create a Black-only program. So because of everything that's happened in the past, you know, this is retribution. I don't know if we'll ever get reparations like we deserve, but programs like this make it easy for us to at least bridge the gap in our individual lives. So I won't make it to this one, but hey, you know, this is the type of stuff that's going on nationally. We are using our weight, and we are politicking, literally lobbying and advocating for the policies that are going to open up doors for Black homeownership building and Black wealth building. So with that being said, my good people, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. It's been a good one. It's been Monday night. It's been a good one. I appreciate y'all. This has been YRDtv. Hit them links in the bios. Get tapped in. You know who it is and what it be. Hit that little bell. Subscribe. All of that and then some. All right? And I'm going to see y'all next week. Peace.